Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to Shanda on Demand, Catherine Paquette. Am I saying that right? Happy Tuesday. How are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello. Hi, Tracy. So good. I love how Tracy says hi to Catherine. Hi, say hello. Tell me where you're streaming in from. Hola. Hi, Esteban. Nice to see you. I think I gave you some coaching this morning on yesterday's live. So, how many of you guys did the homework last night? Any of you guys did the homework last night? Yes, no, I'm not going to go over the homework, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly recommend that you look at what we trained on yesterday, because today we're going to train on how do you pay for the expenses in your life, the expenses in your business, so that you can grow faster, so that you don't have to live at the speed in which you can make money, so that you can realize that every bad thing that happens to you is not trying to knock you off the rails, but actually is trying to innovate success in your life. Hi, Tanya from Denmark. Esteban, calendar is complete. Yes. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to listen to yesterday's live, because there are 5. We actually established 6 buying opportunities between now and the end of the year that if you watched yesterday's live, it can show you what you need to be calendaring so that you can be successful. Okay. And so, hi, Poland. That's amazing. What time is it in Poland right now? Hi, Wendy. Hi, Mariana. Hi, Luella. Nice to see you. How is it in California? Carlsbad, California, back in our neck of the woods. Morning, Becky. Okay, can everybody do me a favor? Hit the share button. Can you do me a favor? Hit the share button. It's 4 p.m. in Poland. That's amazing. You already lived this day. How was it? Was it a good day? Was it a good day over there in Poland? Because you already lived the day, and I'm just really getting started. St. Croix, very cool. I've never been there. I bet that place is amazing. London, England. Do you know that I used to? Here's an interesting scenario, which actually fits into today's training around how do you pay for your expenses in your life, in your business, because you know you got things that you need to pay for to grow, but maybe you don't pay for them because you're still fitting into what's possible or even what's logical. And logic is what a COO does, a chief operating officer. And their role is to look at how do you logically get something done? How do you operationally make something sound and it works well? And basically all the wheels come together. It's an integrator role. And, you know, it takes a lot of brains to be able to do it and do it well. However, a growth role is a completely different mind, because if you have an operator role, I'll tell you, this connects to paying for expenses. If you have an operating role, then what happens is that you will grow slower because you are going to be more cautious. Okay, it's just a natural thing. So I feel like God put us all together, and if we just honored each other and realized that the way we do it is not the only way to do it. In fact, the best way to do it is together. And if we can, thank you, Adventure Realty, Heather, for sharing this live. I appreciate that. Danny from West Virginia. So if we actually learn how to work with our spouses, our boyfriends, our girlfriends, our parents, our coaches, if we learn how to work with the people in our life, we will become a great leader of speed and success. Okay, so what I mean by that is when it's only your perspective, you're at a disadvantage, because what will happen is you will drop into an operator mind, which is what is logical, what is possible. And the truth is if you are, thank you, Heidi, for sharing this live. Thank you, Wendy, for sharing this live. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so if you realize that there's a book, what is it called? Hold on. Rocket Fuel. It's called Rocket Fuel. Somebody write it in the chat right now. It's called Rocket Fuel. Everybody go get the book Rocket Fuel. It's so good. And there's a test in it that will show if you're naturally a visionary or an operator. And the operator needs to be an integrator. So when I started my business, my integrator was a really strong operational minded virtual assistant, right? How many of you guys need a virtual assistant? Put VA in the chat, right? Put VA in the chat. So many of you guys, if you're, I would say if you're under $500,000 a year, maybe 300,000 a year, you need really good virtual assistant that really can operate as your integrator. So if you read the book Rocket Fuel, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. One of the best books I've ever read to inform my mind on really how do you grow a business, because it's really easy to think it's all about marketing. Marketing is the revenue generator. Sales is the revenue generator, but profitability is connected to operations, right? So I have a good friend, I'm going to get into some today's, I have a good friend who said to me, you know, when you hire a CEO or a really good COO, the salary that they want and the incentive that they get, if they're going to take a salary that's too high for the company, then they're not necessarily a good CEO or a COO. Hear me for a second, because I know some of you CEOs are not taking a salary right now, right? Like you're trying to grow a business. There's not enough money in the kitty. And you got to figure out how do you pay your expenses. And part of your expenses are your team. Part of your expenses is technology, like maybe you're using Keep or Aweber, or you're using an affiliate software, or you've got a coach on your payroll, right? And so there's all of that. So I want to share something with you. If you're going to drop into the growth mind, you got to ask yourself, okay, what are the expenses that I must be paying to get ahead? Because pulling back, I think it's Grant Cardone who says, scared money doesn't make money. And I really subscribe to that. Scared money doesn't make money. When my confidence gets rocked, when your confidence gets rocked, who's had their confidence rocked? Put a C in the comment section. Who's had their confidence rocked? Put a C in the comment section. Okay, so when your confidence is rocked, you don't go all in at the same level. And so you've got to figure out, how do you get yourself to feel like going all in, to feel like you're going to work, right? To feel like you're going to sell, to feel like you're going to market or do a webinar or whatever. So know that. Okay. So when your confidence is rocked, your biggest scenario is not necessarily how to build your confidence. It's how to let that go and get courageous and going, I need to grow financially right now. And in order to do that, you have to be able to cover expenses. You have to, because if you grow at the level of a bootstrap, and I'm a bootstrapping queen, if you grow at the level of a bootstrap, you will grow too slow. So bootstrap is amazing. Do you know what I mean by bootstrapping, you guys? Right? It's like making money and paying for things as you make the money. That's bootstrapping. So many people are under the misinformation that that is growing a business. No, it's bootstrapping. And the point of bootstrapping a business or an idea financially is a couple things. One, it shows you can do it. Two, it gives you peace of mind that whatever you're working on will work. The minute you know that you can sell something and people get their results from it or they're happy with it, then that's when you go all in, which means you don't want to bootstrap anymore. You want to invest. You want to invest. So it's like, how do I go borrow money from the SBA loan? How do I go borrow money for a line of credit? How do I go, borrow money from friends and family? Every great project, real estate project, like when you look at high rises that are built, I want to break your mind open for a second. Those developers didn't just go to the bank, and they didn't just go to their own bank accounts. They stopped bootstrapping, right? What they did was they went to a round of friends and family first and gave them a different deal, a different investment. They got a different piece of their profit. Then they went to the next. This is big, if you can get this. Think about, let me just repeat that. When a real estate developer is going to build a development, they open up a friends and family round. Okay? Friends and family round gets the best deal. They get a percentage of the developer's profit. Now put your business, you got your business, you bootstrap, you sell your first, let's say 20 products, 100 products, 50 products, 10 products, and you go, okay, this works. So now what makes you move at speed to cover expenses is to go, who are friends and family? Now friends could be friends of friends, but this is where people get afraid. And you know what you're afraid of? It's you're afraid that maybe you won't do what it takes. But if you can sell 10, 15, 20 products, you probably have a good idea how to sell it. That if you had more money to reach more people, this is why you guys who've done my list building program are freaking smart. Don't underestimate the power of building an email list, because you can even raise friends and family capital from that, right? So there's so many aspects of this that I want you to get, but all I want to do is not tell you what to do. I want to open up your mind so you tell me what to do. So once you know how to sell something, you open up friends and family and you go, who are the people? I call it 50 ways to find the money. Who's done 50 ways to find the money? Put 50 in the comments section. Hi, baby. You guys want to see this little dude. So you want to go 50 ways to find the money. 50 ways to find the money puts you in a position that you're actually going into somewhat of a friends and family round. You're finding a way of bootstrapping maybe a little bit, which is maybe selling your car and not being afraid to let go of that car, which is most of the time it's a depreciating asset. Sell the freaking car. I sold my car to reduce my overhead on expenses so that I could build my business. And I'm really thankful I did. And I had a plan that I would buy that car back in 6 months. However, I took a year off owning a car and bought the car after a year because once I got over my fear, I realized I didn't really need a car. And nowadays in Uber, it's probably less expensive to use a car or to use Uber than it probably is, or Lyft than it probably is in some cases to own a nice car. Okay, so 50 ways to find the money. Bootstrapping and brings in cash. Now there's investing. So anybody know my friend Bedros, who owns Fit Body Boot Camp? Any of you guys know him? Fit Body Boot Camp. If you know Bedros, put a B in the comment section. So Bedros and I were basically running our businesses side by side. And what Bedros did is he became a real CEO. And I'll be really honest with you. I'm in this step right now. And Bedros got really, really unapologetic on anybody approving him because it's what he had to do to go to the next level. He probably pissed off a few people. He probably stepped on a few toes. He probably offended a few people, but it's what he needed to do to learn. And he put his head down and he said, I'm going to move from an operator and in the weeds and a fulfillment person over to becoming a CEO. And when he did that, what helped hold him accountable is he went and he borrowed money from the banks, or he borrowed money from investors, which means that they got like venture capital money, right? It means that, or private money, that means they got a percentage of his profits. So every time somebody gives you money, you know, the banks, they charge you an interest, right? So every time an investor gives you money, you could give them, maybe you give them a piece of the profits. Maybe it's a piece of the profits or a certain interest rate, right? So it's like, if I sell $100,000, I will give you 5% of the profits, or I will give you 5% interest on your $100,000. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what I'm trying to get you to do is, first of all, I'm trying to drop you into some level of overwhelm. Because if you can drop in some level of uncertainty and overwhelmed and not jump off this live, in fact, take a moment and even share it right now, share it, then you can put yourself in a position where you can sit with this essence of uncomfortability, not knowing what's happening or how to do it. And you can drop into thinking where you say, if I was to raise capital, if I was to think about the way Shanda's telling me how to grow a business right now, and I'll go back to Bedros and me and where we were at the same level. And if I was going to let go sooner and be more courageous faster, then how would I take this live, this Shanda on Demand live, and do something with it today? So remember, I'm going to reiterate the plan. Step number 1 is, what do you need to sell? 10, 20, 50? How many products do you need to sell that you feel like you would know how to sell your product or service? Okay? Because once you do it 10, 20, 50 times, preferably in a shorter period of time, you now know how to sell it, right? You know how to work through people's objections. You know what you're doing. So the quicker you can take that as a test. So when I run a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad or a YouTube ad, I run a test. I put a little bit of money and I need to do it quickly. In like 3 days, I need to know, does that test work? Should I put in more money? If the test doesn't work, I need to pivot to figure out how to get the buyer to buy or click on the ad to buy whatever it is on the other side. Okay. And so once that works, I take my money and I go all in. I take my line of credit from the bank and I go all in. And then if I had investor money, I take the investor money, I go all in, and I reach more people. Do you see how this works? So the longer it takes you to work out your personal development of insecurities or confident issues, the longer it takes you to battle with yourself, and I'm speaking to myself and you, the slower the growth is. Now, let me tell you what the slow growth is. It's your life. It's how much you experience out of life. Everybody who says it's not all about money are people who are not willing to work, because nobody said it was all about money. So why would you ever throw out that it's not all about money, Shanda. It's not all about money, Bedros. It's not all about money. Yeah, ask any politician running for politics. It is about money to be able to reach more people. It is about money for the nonprofit to be able to build more villages in Africa. It is about the donors, the investors, the people. It is about your parents, some of your parents' comfortability based on how hard you work right now to be responsible to make the money. So you can sit over there in safety all you want and say, oh, I'm going to be judgy. It's not all about the money. Yes, it is. But it doesn't mean that your heart's wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not a good person to your spouses or to your kids, or that you don't work out, or that you don't go to church. Like, it's not an either or. So this idea that it's not all about the money is an excuse not to work. It's an excuse to hide. It's an excuse to not be courageous, right? It's an excuse for all of that. So why don't we just take a eraser and we edit that out? And, there's a beautiful big ocean over there, right? There's a big, huge ocean over there. And you can either float in the ocean and wait to see what comes together and works, or you can take coaching like this and say, when am I going to stop bootstrapping? Like, we were reading in scripture this morning that, Ash, I'm on a live right now. We were reading in scripture. A friend of ours was reading in scripture this morning and said, I didn't read it. He just kind of told me about it. So I don't even know where it is in scripture, but it said that basically that God wants you to prepare for success and then listen to him for your steps. Now he talks a lot about making money, more than faith and more than prayer. My Christian, Catholic, religious friends. It's not about religion. And scripture says that too. It's about a relationship with God and knowing how to listen in a way so you take the steps. That's why I don't know how you do it without faith. So when people say, you got to have faith, that's another word for, you got to have courage, right? And if you keep going, this is something that gives me lots of peace of mind. I think, Shanda, if you don't stop or don't pull back, it'll come together. But I'm running out of money. It's like, okay, so what do I need to do to cover my expenses? I told you last month or 2 months ago, I said, why don't you go out there and sell a VIP day? I don't know how to sell a VIP day. I don't know what to offer. I don't know. So then freaking sit down and make those decisions today. And then go out there and bootstrap the success at the same, the business is easy. Bootstrap, then invest, then get friends and family, or bootstrap, get friends and family, invest, lines of credit, venture capital, if you choose. Right? And then what is the exit plan? Are you selling your company? Are you taking it public? Oh, no, I couldn't sell. By the way, this was me. My friend Randy Garn said, what's your exit strategy? And I'm like, well, the only exit strategy I can think of is if something happened to me, how does the company still run? I can think about that. So, no, everybody needs an exit strategy. And I'm going, well, I have no desire to sell the company. It's like, yeah, but if you were going to sell the company, what would be that number? If you were going to take the company public, what would that look like? What would success look like? And so I feel like so many of us, and again, I'm speaking to you and I'm speaking to myself, is look at the shortcomings. Where is my vision short that I need to take it longer, right? Thank you, Shelley, for sharing this live. Where is our vision short that we need to take it longer and see what does success look like? Right? Because the bigger our vision is, the more exciting it is. See, if you stop thinking that the business is just about you and your purpose and something you love, like, okay, great. I love coaching. I could do these lives all day long. Thank you, Martha, for sharing this live. I could do this all day long. I love coaching you. And there's parts of my business I don't necessarily love. I'm grateful because there was a time I sat in Starbucks and had no idea what I wanted to sell, do, or contribute to society. How many of you guys are there? Put the word there. Put the word there in the chat if you're there, where you're like, I'm not sure what to sell. I'm not really clear on what my contribution is, right? And so I'm a little stuck there, right? So there, right? So some of you guys, awesome. So my coaching for you today is to carve out 30 minutes and ask yourself, if I was going to choose something to sell today, what would be the service I would provide for somebody else's life? So service is another word for what is the specific result? Well, I don't know. Okay, so if you did know, what decision would you make? Like, what can your vision see at this moment? And whether it's short, medium, long, or eternity driven, the further we can see out, the more exciting it gets. And I'm not talking about a pipe dream. I'm talking about, for some of you guys, like I think I saw Shannon Irvine on here. If Shannon Irvine thought to herself, I would sell the company at 20 million, then now she could go ask, well, what would I have to do to my company as a coaching company to make it sellable at 20 million? And she should go find out and not just hear one person's opinion. She could get online and go look for brokers that sell businesses and ask like 6 or 10 or 15 of them. 15 would be smart. And then look for the patterns that they all say. And then you go and you ask a different question. And you say, if I was going to sell it for 20 million, what could I add to my coaching company? I'm just talking about Shannon Irvine here. What could I add to my coaching company? So for instance, if you add a technology, if you add a payment processing system, oh my God, that sounds so complicated. No, in the next year, there's going to be companies for sale that you will not have to pay $1 for, that you could add to your business and have a new built-in audience that cost you nothing, but you pay on performance to the seller because they were going to close it anyway. So you guys, when we think too small, when our vision's too small, and I welcome you to start small, but you got to quickly have a meeting with yourself, whether it's with your mentor or your coach. You have to have a meeting with yourself or people that you love and stretch, like people that think bigger than you, and stretch. See, that's why they say the proximity of who you spend your time with will strengthen your vision. Well, the bigger the vision gets, the more excited and urgent you get. Okay, so I'm going to end on this. The reason why Bedros grew faster than me is he stopped signing checks. Those were his exact words to me. He goes, you're still signing checks. In other words, you're still looking at the weeds, and I'm still looking at the weeds, and it's gotta end. Okay, so that's one aspect. Number two is that I bootstrapped for too long. And I'm happy that we have a great company, but I bootstrapped for too long. And so I traded time in my life significantly for money and impact. Because the more that you're not willing to invest in a team or grow the team, you are absolutely trading time for money, even if you own your own business. I know you guys in network marketing, you have this conversation where you're like, oh, they teach you how to not trade your time for money and multiple streams of income, but yet they won't let you have a coaching company on the side of your network marketing company, or they won't let you cross promote to your network marketing company. That's not freedom. Like, that's not freedom at all. That's complete slavery, right? You go find the customers or clients, bring it into the company owns them, right? And so I share this with you because you need to start questioning what you've been told. If you're going to break out and innovate, you need to start questioning what you've been told, and you need to get a bigger vision than what you've been told. So here's how I pay for expenses. I literally ask myself, okay, I'm spending too much money, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have support from my husband, which I do now. I had to ask myself, well, if I'm going to get support from my husband, how do I have to speak to him? I need to lay out full-blown plans for my husband to see, so that he feels comfortable and he knows where we're going. I have to have 2 meetings a week with him, and which, that's what it would take to get him on the same page. So now my husband and I are on the same page so we can build fast together. So I had to handle that, right? Don't have enough money. Obviously, I've run into many times I don't have enough money. And so I have to cover expenses. So I think, well, if I did have access to money, how would I get it? right? Oh, I get an SBA loan, or I get a line of credit, or I get a credit card extension on my spending ability, or I would go sell 5 VIP days in a week, or whatever, right? Like, you have to sit there and say, if I was able to do this, if there was money, not there's my husband doesn't support me, or I hate the place I live in, or whatever. You have to be able to generate forward movement, no matter whether you like where you work, or your environment, or your state, or whatever. You have to be able to change your emotional state to be able to say, if this was going to come together today, what action would I take today? And it starts with, where are you stuck? So I hope this live was good for you. I hope that I'm generating some thinking patterns, but it's completely useless if you don't do something with this. So if you're a Mention Me Live 1% client, I'm going to recommend you. I'm your coach, and this is not a request. This is a coaching commandment right now. I want you to go look at, where are you stuck, and I want you, if you guys are just subscribing and you're watching us, you get to do what you want. But if you're Mention Me Live or 1%, you gave me permission to speak into your life. I'm going to tell you, cannot just go through day after day after day and just kind of not go into hardcore world and study the 10-minute trainings. You can't not show up for the Mention Me Live calls that happen on Tuesdays. You can't say, oh, customer service didn't get back to me, or, oh my God, I don't have the money to pay for Mention Me Live this month. I want to pause my agreement. You can't do that. You can't do that. Because if you do that, you put yourself right back into the box. How do you pay for your expenses? How do you pay for your expenses so you keep going, or stay stuck? Stay stuck. Right? So I'm going to encourage all my clients today to take 30 minutes. I want you to write down, what is your biggest pain point right now? And be specific. If you need money, you need to say, I need X amount of dollars now. Right? If it's like, I need to fix, my hook on my telesummit, or I need to send out a survey, then just do it today. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 8:00 at night. Send the freaking email. You know what I mean? Like, just stop with this insanity. You are absolutely responsible for creating the value out of your life. Your mentors are not, your coaches are not. You are. Do you know that I used to coach with Dean Graziosi, right? Dean doesn't wait for, I can't pick up the phone and call Dean and go, I'm stuck. He'd be like, so call me when you know what you need me to coach you on, because I'm going to go over here and run my company. Right? So it's like, you guys, even Mention Me Live 1%, you're not in a 6-week course anymore. You're in the empowerment of transforming the world and being in contribution. You need thinking time more than anything. Decisions, ask God for a decision, but don't second guess it. Just 100% go in and make a decision that you need to make today. If you want speed, you must make a decision today, whatever that decision is in whatever area of your life. Now, be careful that your decision isn't for tomorrow. So, okay, I need $10,000 or I need $2,000 to pay for my Mentor Me Live program and my virtual assistant, right? Okay, so I don't know, it's October 4th. Are you behind on your payment? If you are, that's a problem, because that's your integrity. And if I go back and I follow you, I'm just using this as an example. If I go back and I look at what you've been doing the last 90 days, 3 months ago, or whatever you did 3 months ago is the state of your finances today. Okay. And so I always coach myself like this. I'm like, all right, what you did, Shanda, 3 months ago is why you're either crushing it or miserably tight, because of my action 3 months ago. So I can change that now. It takes effort. So you have to ask yourself, I'm going to use the $2,000. I need $2,000. I need to pay my virtual assistant, Mention Me Live. I got to pay my expense of my business. So then, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll go and launch this webinar next week. F that. Do 3 Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives today, even if you don't know what the heck you're doing, and just talk and do some calls to action and ask people to message you if they need your help on this topic, and go have sales calls, right? Send out a text message and open up your calendar. I can't, Shanda, I've got 3 kids at home. Okay, you're going to have to figure it out, Because how do you expect God to bless you, who created this universe that is so abundant? How do you expect him to bless you if you won't do what it takes today? Oh, well, I go to bed at 8:30. I go to bed at 8:30, so I say that, right? Go to bed at 8:30. It's so uncomfortable for me to stay up late. I got kids, so I have no time today. Stay up till 10 and do sales conversations. Sales conversations are, can you help somebody else go out of your comfort zone and make offers and be willing to help somebody? If you're going to stretch to the next level, you've got to do something different than what you've ever done on any other day. And that day can happen today. Every single one of you, whether you're a subscriber to our channels, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whether you're a subscriber or you're a Meant to Be Live client or 1% client, Meant to Be Live 1%, you can go into Hardcore World and you can do 10-minute trainings right now, today, to get you unhooked, right? Oh, I can't find anything in there. Are you fucking kidding me? Look. These freaking things have made us complacent. It's like Google tells you how to do it. There's a search bar in the Meant to Be Live Hardcore World platform. Go search. You know what I mean? Like, stop showing up waiting for a 6-week course for somebody to tell you what to do every day. You're so smart and you're so capable, but you cannot go to the next level. And by the way, you cannot grow a business on a 6-week course. You just can't. Can't grow a relationship on a 6-week course. You can't figure out how to multiply your income on a 6-week course. Eventually, you have to think. And I'm going to tell you, even the worst thinking is better than not making a decision. Because the worst thinking, meaning that you completely have no idea what you're doing, that bad thinking, or maybe it's not bad, that completely uneducated thinking, this is all new for me thinking. Once you make a decision and do something today, not tomorrow, today, to generate whatever result you all want today, it's going to open up new data. Data is like, oh, I made that offer and they didn't buy. Okay, so ask them what was missing. Oh my gosh, I can't ask them that. Okay, so try on the next one. But the longer you give yourself to succeed means you're so addicted to comfort. And I'm telling you, comfort never paid confidence anything. See, comfort is connected with insecurity. Comfort is not connected with success or confidence. And for some of you guys, you just got that, which means you're running a bad strategy. So you should do it not ready. You should do it not feeling ready. You should do it with not enough money. You should do it like that. That's actually, you are on the right track if all of that's happening for you right now. But somehow you're running strategy this way, which is comfort. We need to be running strategy this way, which is confident, which means that all the lack is actually what you're closing. And if you didn't make yourself insecure or incapable, or tell yourself a story like you're not smart enough, or you're stupid, or you don't know, none of that matters, because every decision you make, you're going to have new data. And that data, if you could move and make decisions fast, that's speed. So if you don't like the speed in which you're going, you're not making decisions fast. Here's a great thing. Track how many decisions you make in a day. That would be phenomenal for all of you to do. I'm actually going to do that. How many decisions do you make in a day? I swear, coaching you guys just pours into me even more. So thank you. So track how many decisions you make in a day. And if you don't, like, literally take a little book around with you, business decisions, track how many. And then notice, put a line in the paper and notice the things you're still contemplating. I bet the contemplation list is so long. It's called your to-do list. The decision list is what you want to get bigger than the contemplation list. And when your decision list starts to get bigger, you'll have speed and you will have confidence. You will have success. You will have money. You will stop being freaking scared of making a decision and you will crush it. So if you're meant to be live, your homework, or 1%, is I want 30 minutes today for you to sit there, set a timer, and you keep your ass in the seat or the kitchen table or the lawn chair or the beach or the coffee shop. You sit your ass there for 30 minutes with an alarm and you solve the problem you need to solve. What do you need to do to solve that problem today? Not tomorrow. Urgency. runway decisions. If you wait till tomorrow, you are choosing comfort, which means incompetency, which means fear, which means just everything you don't want, and you did not hire me to be able to operate like that. If you are a subscriber and you're just watching us, you're not meant to be live or 1%, you can still take this coaching. If you need our help for something, you can put the word coach in the chat if you do not work with us, and we're happy to talk to you about coaching with us. But if you are meant to be live, it's go time. It's go time. All right, you guys. That's it. I'm going to see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't have my list of what I'm coaching tomorrow, but maybe it's time to just have faith and show up live. So today was all about how do you cover your expenses in your business. And I feel like I gave you some really good, accurate coaching. Now the question is, will you actually go make the decision today? Bless you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.